We are live on Instagram Live with Elissa Kalver, superwoman hero. We met over a horrible situation, cancer, but we've gotten to know each other over the last year or so. And I'm so excited to introduce you to my community and share everything that you've been doing. I'm so happy to be on stage again. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I'm
But I'm
excited to
gonna
see it.
introduce you to everybody from Love Zero Negative and have them get to know you because you're such an awesome person.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, and likewise. Yeah, no, I'm so glad that we've connected out of a not so great scenario, but both doing some pretty cool things. And I'm excited because I didn't get to come for your first stand-up show. I was out of town, so making up for it this Thursday night with a little fundraiser at the Crow.
Yeah, hopefully, you haven't seen it yet, my set.
No, I haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. 'Cause, yeah, I want it to be fresh, fresh for you.
All right. Note taken.
So, let's get down to it. Who are you? What is your story? And we both were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and we're both kind of living our best lives because of it, even though one of us has cancer, one of us doesn't. So it's interesting because it touched us the same exact way.
Yeah, definitely. So, my name is Elissa Kalver, and I was diagnosed metastatic breast cancer 4 years ago. July 1st was my 4-year cancerversary. And I was diagnosed de novo, which means, right away, stage 4, with cancer in my left breast, my lymph nodes, my liver, and my lower spine. And it was shocking. I was 34 at the time, I'm 38 now. And I just always understood breast cancer as that you can cut it out or cut it off, and this was a very different understanding. And I've learned so much more since, and there's a lot more to learn for all of us, I think. But it's pretty amazing, like what's existed so that you and I can do the stuff that we love and feel like we can live and thrive while having, technically a terminal form of cancer. But the idea that I really learned over the past 4 years is to, keep kicking long enough that more and more stuff is coming out. And I think that it's only a matter of time that metastatic breast cancer becomes a chronic disease and not a terminal one. And that's why research and all that good stuff is so important.
Were you getting mammograms at the time that you were diagnosed? Because you were so young.
No. Yeah, I was so young and no family history. I don't have any genetic mutations. There was nothing that made me high risk for breast cancer. So it really just wasn't on my radar. It was right before my daughter's first birthday that I was diagnosed. And so a lot of the like off feelings, which weren't in my breast, just like other inflammation and things during that year was kind of chalked up to that I had just had a baby. And it was
Mm,
really the fact that I did give birth, the year before, and I had a baby registry that prompted the idea for what I work on now with WeGotThis.org of creating a nonprofit gift registry for cancer patients. Because when I was diagnosed, everyone was asking what I needed and how they could help. And I just remembered it being so normal feeling and easy when I was pregnant, but I felt really uncomfortable asking for help. Like I didn't want to. It felt like this unintentional burden. And I really had no idea, as I'm sure you can relate, to what I needed. Like
mhm.
and what I've needed and what chemo has looked like, I'm about to embark on my 6th line of treatment. It's so different every time, and as it becomes more targeted, like I obviously haven't lost my hair in quite some time. And so, yeah, it's really changed so much. And I think what I am grateful for is how much I've gotten to learn and live through that, which I know, from our previous conversations too, that you can relate to is like having gone through this more and understanding more and seeing more scenarios and meeting more people, it's really opened my eyes so much to how we can better support each other. And
Yeah,
not just with cancer, just like in the hard times in general. And I think that that's something that builds a layer of communication that's like really beneficial for all of our relationships and for us to live and thrive despite cancer or, with that
mhm.
not being a prerequisite.
No, yeah, your foundation, WeGotThis.org. I love it because it's all about teamwork, and I even love how you invited so many people just to be a part of it in the advisory board because we're kind of like just sharing what we know to help other people who are just gonna be newly diagnosed. And then with my foundation, it really is the same kind of thing, like, I wanted
Mhm.
to support cancer patients by giving them a gift and saying, like, "We're on your team, we're here, we can't, like, go through it for you, but we can help you and send prayers and send you gifts," and that kind of thing. So, yeah, when I was going through cancer, I remember feeling that was such a huge part of just going through it and feeling supported, you know? So,
Absolutely.
we both kind of understand. It's like that support means so much. And,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad. Yeah, so WeGotThis.org is getting really big now. Like, you have, like, a lot of partnerships, and you're taking over, which is cool.
It's cool to see the evolution of this initial idea where I was just like, "Why doesn't this really exist?" And it had never existed before as a nonprofit way, and I think that, it's just different gifting during a time like cancer versus a wedding or a baby, and I think that the nonprofit piece was important for people to not feel like it was predatory or other things, and to have it be not only myself, but like you brought up the advisory board, like making sure that everything that we're doing is, not just my cancer experience or my opinion, but getting as many, as much input as we can to make sure that we're servicing in the best way. And so when I initially started fundraising for it, it was like people understood it right away. Like the second that I said gift registry for cancer patients, it was kind of like, oh my God, like why doesn't that exist?
Mhm,
And I think that that's really helped with spreading awareness and recognition around it is that it's like whether you have cancer or not, you know what it feels like to want to help or be a part of that. I mean, we might have gone through these experiences, but like I also don't know what to give to someone else with cancer. Like we're
mhm,
all so different. And really building on that has been such a gift. And, I'm obviously just obsessed with it and I love doing it. This year, we've really faced a lot more growth in terms of users. So it's kind of like the year before, really building up, making sure everything worked well for everyone, generating feedback and all of that. And then since January, we've grown uh, over 10,000 users. And so that's where it's like, okay, because the whole point of this is for it to be a free resource that
mhm,
anyone can use. And it's not well, it is to benefit the patient. Every patient has, their whole community of friends and family who wanna know how to help and support them. And
mhm,
so that's really where I saw this, like, it really is for everyone in the sense that, like, in some ways, more supporters will come to our site than
mhm,
patients because there's more people looking to support. So we've built up over the past few months to adding in a recommendation shop where a meaningful percentage of each purchase comes back to We Got This. So not only is it stuff that people would probably want to buy anyway and recommendations and vetted curated products that we found, but it also helps us be more sustainable in the nonprofit. And then we've
mhm,
also created a resource directory so we can spread the word like with Zero Negative and other nonprofits where you can filter really closely, like financial support, if you need more community, if you need retreats, like just so many areas that living with this for the past 4 years and like, it's kind of hard to find this or, oh man, I did this program with this nonprofit. It was so amazing. Like more people need to know that this exists. So bringing it together is, I think, what it's all about. And we both obviously align on that.
mhm. What is the first or the biggest item that is always kind of asked for new patients or people looking for gifts? Is there one item,
Yeah.
like
Well,
an
so
item that's
the
always chosen?
item, yeah, the item that sticks out that a lot of people ask for are Squishmallows. That's been a big one. We've
Get it.
relayed that message to Squishmallow, and they actually sent out a lot that we distributed to patients and stuff, which was cool. Initially, what we saw is people feeling really comfortable registering for medical type things like barf bags and wigs and stuff that's more, stereotypical that their supporters might think of. And what I've really tried to do is really promote normalizing registering for things that are going to make you feel good too.
Mhm.
So, you know, I started my registry for the first time last year when I found out I needed a lumpectomy, and it's funny because that's something a lot of people can understand, like surgery. And so we started getting the text messages again, like, let me know what you guys need. How can I help? And, catching myself going back to like, oh, no, we're good. Thanks so much. And I'm like, wait, I started a whole nonprofit because of this issue.
Mhm.
So I started my own registry page. And some of the things I added to that was like a fun golf shirt. Like when I'm really stressed about results or, don't have energy to maybe go do some of the higher impact things. I love, going out and playing 9 holes by myself or going and playing with some friends. So
Oh,
that to
that's so
me is
cool that
part
you
of my
play golf.
treatment.
Yeah. No, that's so
Yeah.
cool. I was just thinking when you were saying that, do you have, like, masseuses or massages or stuff like that that people can get to send either a gift certificate to a place or even a personal masseuse to come get, a massage?
Yeah, so how the registry works is you can basically register from any website that's like e-commerce. So you could go to like, a website if they sell the gift certificates online and register for that. Or you could kind of customize something and ask someone to send it to you. But the recommendation shop we have is kind of like who we've partnered with and services we know and personally use. But beyond that, I mean, people can register for anything they want anywhere,
Yeah. No, that's
and
so
you can
cool.
also do donations too. So say like you weren't sure where they'd want to get a massage, maybe
Mhm.
you just, give them 100 or 200 bucks on their registry and, send them a note that you'd love to for them to have a relaxing day. So there's lots of different ways that you
Oh,
could
that's
you
so
could do
cool.
something like that.
No, I wanna connect, a lymphatic drainage masseuse that is awesome and is specifically with cancer survivors,
Yeah,
patients,
that'd be great.
and, she's in Brentwood and San Clemente, and,
Oh, awesome.
it just dawned on me, like, that needs to be on your site.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Okay, what I wanna ask you is, your daughter was born right before your diagnosis, correct? So she was, like,
Uh, a
3
year
months.
before.
A year, so she had a year with you without cancer. So your cancer really didn't start until after she was born. Do you think it started before and it was just very slow growing, or do you think it just came on soon after she came?
With how much it spread, I think it was probably earlier than giving birth to her. Like, I don't know
Okay,
that a year would have been enough for, like, it to spread from my breast and cover my liver. I am HER2 positive, which is faster growing, so I don't know for sure. It's not I'm not hormone positive, so some of the things that you would think would make sense based on pregnancy doesn't really add up. But I know since having it, and I know that there's some documentaries being worked on and other types of studies that we just don't have answers to yet of, other people my age, like in their 30s and after giving birth, that surfacing. So I'm really not sure of that, but I'd imagine that it was probably there longer and
mm,
maybe accelerated or just, I don't know, maybe
yeah.
paid attention more to those symptoms after pregnancy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy too, because I had had my checkups and mammograms, and I had a stage 4 cancer by the time I was diagnosed, and nobody saw what was growing. And nobody felt what was growing. And just walking around feeling normal and having stage 4 cancer is just such a weird thought, you know? Like,
Totally. I mean, I had a breast exam 2 months before we found my lump, and they didn't feel anything. And I don't think that the doctor actually did anything wrong. Like, I don't think that they missed anything because since then, like, I know, like, before I had the lumpectomy last year, there was, like a fist-sized tumor in my left breast. And there were times that it was so prominent and uncomfortable. And then there were certain times of the month that like I couldn't feel it at all. Like I couldn't really even find it. Then I'm like, oh, maybe it shrunk.
it's
And
gone.
so it's like it just depends so much on like breast density and all that. I really think, I mean, from my experience at least, like I wish that every mammogram was paired with an ultrasound. I think
Yeah,
that would,
that's what I
you
learned too.
know,
Mhm.
uncover a lot more. Because how are we supposed to know if we have dense breasts? Or, and if we only base things off of high risk, I mean, I wasn't high risk and I don't have family history. So there's clearly something, that I'm on the page of more data, the better
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. It's almost like you gotta just start in your 20s. Just keep watching and do all the checks that you're supposed to do in your 40s, just start it earlier.
Yeah, and I definitely encourage people to, like, definitely do self breast exams, but do it like at different parts of the month too if you can,
Mhm.
because like I said, I mean, while knowingly having cancer in my breast, like, there are times that I don't feel it and there are times that I do. So I'd imagine that as women it has to do with our cycles and other things like that. So
Yeah.
just, being aware and not not, belittling yourself of your thoughts and being afraid to advocate if you feel like something's off.
Yeah, it's almost like just create the habit of checking even every day. It takes so little time,
Yeah,
seconds to a
yeah.
minute. I totally agree with that, even though now I don't even have any breasts to I don't have mammograms, I have no checkups in that area because
Yeah.
the fact is I don't have breast tissue anymore. But, I do have to watch out for other organs, especially because I have the BRCA gene. I don't think you have the BRCA gene. No.
No, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. I think, because it's still every time I have a recurrence or other things, it's like even my close friends will be like, "Okay, I know there's a reason. Can you explain it again why you're not removing your breast?" And, it's kind of the newer, take on it is like it's already spread well beyond my breasts. The cancer in your breast isn't what kills us. All nearly 100% of breast cancer deaths happen in stage 4, and it's from
Mhm.
it, growing far away. So, even actually when I paused treatment to have the lumpectomy, I actually became allergic to the chemo I was on. So I had to switch. So, imagine right now in my treatment taking enough time off to have a double mastectomy, and then if I wanted reconstruction or anything like that, uh, a lot of it is really personal in that respect. But for me, the way I view it is like, in the meantime of that happening, I could be risking my life.
Mhm.
So I've tried to come to terms with the fact that, like, I'm not as scared if there's cancer in my breasts.
Mhm.
And if anything, I'm actually, like, a bit relieved that maybe that's where I can catch things first, which is what
Mhm.
happened last year,
Mhm. Mhm.
because then that way it's something that is more treatable and contained than obviously other areas.
So, the only surgery that you've had has been the lumpectomy?
Yeah, and then I had a voluntary hysterectomy, but leaving my ovaries so that I didn't have to go through early menopause since I'm not hormone positive for breast cancer. But I grew up
Mhm.
with endometriosis, and I felt like it was just unfair to because I started getting my periods again. So it's like I have to deal with horrible
Yeah.
cramps in addition to having cancer. So where we were agreeing to pause for the lumpectomy, in the same week, I had the hysterectomy as well.
Okay. But you have your ovaries, so you have your healthy estrogen that will keep you from menopause for now, which is
Yes,
a
yes,
very positive thing.
yes, yeah.
Side note, they did I have a great vet for my dog, and she didn't wanna remove her ovaries because she thought having her ovaries would keep her estrogen and save her from heart disease and cancer, so she removed her uterus. So she doesn't have a period well, she has a period, she just doesn't bleed, and,
Yeah, that's
that's
yeah,
so
same.
smart, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
And it
then it eliminates a ton of other I mean, I wouldn't have paused chemo only for that. I mean, I
Mhm,
wanted to, but we kind of the way my oncologist and I discussed it and my surgeon was kinda like, "Okay, well, we wouldn't maybe pause chemo just for the lumpectomy or just for the hysterectomy. But for both, that seems it's like we're combining 2 things that will make me more comfortable and all that." So, I'm relieved that I did that. I mean, I figured out that I had endometriosis in middle school. Like, I had such
wow.
bad pain growing up.
Mhm.
and that was just something that, like, for that to come back and be a part of just, like, and I didn't wanna
Yeah,
go on birth control again and other things, and I just, like, even IUDs, I think, is, like, great option and stuff now. I just, like, didn't wanna deal with any other component. Like, I was just
yeah,
tired, you know? So, yeah, having options is definitely a luxury.
mhm. And your daughter is now 5?
Yes, she just turned 5 in July.
Okay. And she's kind of a part of everything. She, like, the brand ambassador, I think, for We Got This.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she sees our logo, she's like, "Cancer sucks, we got this."
And I know when we first met, or not when we first met, when we just met last week, you were starting a clinical trial. Did that start already?
Not
Or
yet. I am going in on Thursday to go through the disclosures. So I'm for sure gonna be able to be in it, which is great,
Mhm.
and, it's a really exciting trial. I mean, these things that are coming out not only are saving our lives, but, what I'm really excited about with this trial is the potential to have very, very little side effects.
Yeah.
And, I've definitely been fortunate for a lot of my treatments, but, it ebbs and flows. There's been much harder ones than others, and, there's certain things that we start to just get used to. But there was I was on, Xeloda with Herceptin and tucatinib for over 2 years until I had, that recurrence, which is why I had to have the surgeries at the end of last year. But, I had really great quality of life on that, and it really was, like, made such a big difference that this current treatment has been, like, not as good as that, but not as bad as the worst. But it having experienced kind of opposite ends of the spectrum on side effects, it I think has helped me conceptualize this idea that, like, there's a lot of different treatments. It's not curable, but, like, as we uncover more stuff, and if I end up with a treatment again that does have harsh side effects, like, it's likely that there's gonna be other opportunities for us to switch to. And what made it so hard for me when I was on a chemo that I just felt so sick is
What was
the
the name of
idea
that?
that
The
in
chemo?
HER2,
Okay.
um,
Yes.
this was 3 years ago, though, so, like, friends who are on it now, they have a lot more anti-nausea protocol,
Mhm.
like, through IVs and that, and I wasn't able to do that because of it being a part of a clinical trial at the time.
Mhm.
But it just made me really sick, and I felt like this is indefinite, like, I'm trying to stay on this forever, and this feels horrible, and got in a really dark place from that. And so now kind of understand that, like, not any of it has to be
Mhm.
like, we can speak up, and luckily, I have a care team that really cares about not only me staying alive, but also me being able to live.
Yeah. And your purpose is to live life as best as possible, because what's the
Yeah,
point? What's the point? We don't want
exactly.
cancer to, like, make our life horrible. So,
No.
the
Yeah,
thing is,
we
yeah, there's
deserve
so many things, yeah.
we deserved that before cancer, and we deserve it during
Yeah,
and after. So
yeah, yeah. And before cancer, you were a badass in something, I know that, but what did you do? You did sales and marketing or
I,
finance?
uh, I w yeah, mainly sales in, corporate retirement plan space. I was a financial advisor for a while too, so mainly in financial services. I had a gym in Woodland Hills. That was a cardio boxing gym for a few years. It's kinda like a side passion project that's not a side project because it's so much work, but,
Mhm,
um, I definitely had that entrepreneurial bug. I went to, school for entrepreneurship outside of Boston at Babson College, and when I was diagnosed, this idea of doing something, it was what I needed, and I'm so
mhm.
glad that I did. And uh, I'm just grateful to not have a brick and mortar. So being able to manage something that is not needing to be there, from certain hours is definitely more cohesive to anyone's lifestyle, let alone going through cancer.
And you have a good team around you.
Yeah, very lucky. My husband's so supportive, my family and friends and new friends like you. So it's exciting to have those silver linings still feel very relevant and happening a lot. And the more that I think what we grow in like our communities, whether it be our nonprofits or even like what Nicole's done at the Crow, hysterectomy. I mean, those are like some of my closest friends now are the people that I did that with. And then getting to see you do it. And there's just so many neat things that can come out of the tough stuff. And I think a lot of it applies to all of us, cancer or not.
How do you believe that if we don't look at the bad stuff like openings for good stuff, then it's almost like we're letting the bad stuff just kinda kill us in a way, because it's, like, hard to just be in the bad stuff without thinking there's something good coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like having having hope, and it being able to have like an outlook of options, like those types of things I felt trapped when I was in a chemo where I knew that there were other options, but like, you don't want to give up one of your lives. And that's kind of how it felt like giving up a treatment that works when there's limited treatments. But
Mhm.
once I really came to terms with the fact that I really wasn't living anymore, it was like, wow, I can't even like get out of bed without throwing up to take my daughter to school. Like it was too
Yeah,
much. You let in so much more positivity and putting that out there. My oncologist, oh sorry, putting that out there, my oncologist immediately was like, "We can switch," and I think I needed that validation, and sometimes we get caught in our own thoughts that if we just
yeah.
externalize it to the people who care about us, like, there's more opportunities there.
Well, you're with the right team of doctors for them to actually honor your feelings and work with you. And,
Yeah.
I know it took you a couple times to find the right doctor, but you're what is so important about the team is, like, the people that you trust, that you can voice your feelings, and they honor that, and they work with you, and I'm so happy that you're at UCLA now,
Yes.
and, I really right away wanted to start raising money for cancer research because I didn't know if I was gonna need it, if you're like, friends are gonna need it, so I have
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
passion just knowing research is working, and every year, every month, we are coming up with new solutions, and I know you have to go because you have a busy life, and I just
Sorry.
wanted you to talk about where we can find you and also where we can buy tickets to the Crow because this is a huge fundraiser for your foundation, and I'm very happy to be a part of it, but let's
Yeah.
yeah, just say where we can find all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you check out at We Got This org across platforms, probably most active on Instagram. If you click on our link tree there, you'll see the ticket link for the Crow on Thursday night.
Yeah,
The doors will be opening at 7:30, show at 8, and it'll be a lot of fun. So if you're around, please come by. We'd love to have you. WeGotThis.org is where you can go to start a free registry or anything that you need. If you have any questions or ideas or things that you want to connect with us on, you can always email us at info@wegotthis.org. Would love to help in any way that we can.
amazing. Thank you for coming on, Alyssa. I,
Yeah, anytime.
will let you go, and I can't wait to see you on Thursday, and, I'll be there at 7, and,
Awesome.
we'll connect then.
Awesome. Well, see you on Thursday. Thanks for the awesome conversation.
Of course, I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.